Peace and high frequencies, everyone. Coming in live. I'm coming in hot. No, just playing. I'm coming in live just to talk to y'all briefly about the winter solstice going into 2022. For my person, I have not been on social media. I'm doing a complete social media detox. I'm also doing a physical detox for my person, for my body, for my mind, my spirit, my energy of what I need to release and let go of before I move into a whole nother cycle of energy. Because when we go into 2022, we're going into a new season. For in Chinese culture, we're going from the year of the ox into the year of the tiger. I think it's the water tiger, water tiger, from the year of the ox. And so there's a whole different energy there. And that starts February 1st. And so with that happening, we need to know what we need to do for ourselves instead of just blindly just going into the new year and having these new year thought processes of what you want to do. We need to really go into meditation and that spirit. I did a reading for my person on sorry. I did a reason for my person on yesterday or day before yesterday, I believe. Day before yesterday, on what my focus needs to be on for this winter solstice. Now, on December the 21st was my beginning of my detox cleanse. Now everybody wants to text. It was the beginning of my detox and cleanse, to cleanse my body out, doing my meditation, doing my qigong, doing my morning ritual, and then going into just my juice cleanse and my liquids, and that's it. And my activated charcoal throughout the day, my increased vitamin C, and my multivitamin. And that has what I have been doing since the 21st up until tomorrow is going to be the day that I break my fast and my detox. But through this entire time, it's been more inward work that's going on, a lot of reflecting, a lot of looking into what I need to go into. I received Nekabet to Ma'at, and I also received, I think, Nekabet to Ma'at was my first card that I received when I did my oracle reading. And my second card was Sheps to Ma'at. All right, so going into a lot of open psychic ability that's going on right now, if I'm adhering to what the spirits or high ancestors have to say for me, and I really have to stay in meditation, stay the course, really going deeper with my meditations and my inward work so that I'll receive more higher information. Peace and blessings, Alley Cat, and high frequencies. So that's what's been going on now for me during this detox and doing this cleanse, is really getting rid of all of may have been toxic behavior that was going on with me in 2021. Sometimes we don't even see toxic behavior. And sometimes on the spiritual journey, you may not even know certain things are toxic behaviors until you go on a cleanse and detox and a lot of things are removed and you get to go deeper into the awareness of self. Because for me, on the spiritual journey, the first thing was changing my diet. My diet has definitely been changed to a vegan lifestyle. Then from there, just putting more time into ritual work. I started doing that. So this has been an ongoing of years put into that. But I always take time because, when you're doing the work, there's always another level that you can go into doing the work. All right. It's always levels of advancement, especially if we're still here in the physical plane. We always can move higher into this physical plane and have higher levels of awareness, of enlightenment. Is always more information that can come through. And looking at it with, that reading, just looking at, look at, do a reading, or if you do metal nectar, or if you do, like I do metal nectar, I did an I Ching reading. It was a 2 into the 23rd. Also, if you do tarot, if you practice Ifa, whatever you practice, do your reading at this time. We're in the winter solstice energy. Now, a lot of people are possibly celebrating Christmas during this time. But what it really is that we have less sun. We have moved from the 21st to now we're having less and less and less sunlight. All right, that's the solstice. The sun is at a stillness. Solstice. And so it came to a stillness. And then on the 25th, we're going to have the sun is reborn. The sun is born. All right. So that's when we have more sunlight. Okay, so we'll have, a little bit more sunlight. Not a whole lot. I don't think it's a whole lot of sun, but we'll have more sunlight. So that's the whole part of the winter solstice. And when you think about less sunlight and it's being dark, getting darker and darker, so you're thinking about going inward, more so of an inward journey, doing more things in the darkness. You may want to go in hermit mode. You may want to just be with yourself and not be around a whole bunch of people and family and parties. This is not the time to do a lot of drinking, a lot of socializing, a lot of sex, a lot of all of that people do during this time. Is not the time for that. It's time right now to really go in deep within yourself. Oh, peace and high frequency, sis. Yes. Grand Rising. Thank you for blessing the space. Both of you queen goddesses, thank you so much for blessing the space, because I have been detoxing from social media too. So if you try to reach out to me on Instagram or Facebook, I'm not on Instagram at this time. I won't be back on there sharing my dreams and intuitive messages until after we get through this winter solstice, and then what, in the Gregorian calendar, the 1st of 2022, because I'm really looking at what is there for me moving into the first of the year. First for my person, and then for the collective, for this world. What energy are we projecting out that is starting to reflect back to us? Because something was said the other night. I was on Clubhouse, and someone said the energy of the earth is changing. And it was said back, it's like, no, the energy of the earth is just the energy of the earth. It's not changing. It's your perspective and your frequency has changed of what you're seeing and what you're allowing into your space, which I was like, hell yeah, that is very true. Because what is reflected back to us is what the level that we're on. You see what I'm saying? Like, we're only going to see as much as we can receive, we're putting out. All right. Just like the light frequencies. So just like, even before my enlightenment journey and my path, it was certain things I didn't see within myself. I just didn't recognize the shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like certain things we don't recognize. And then we go on this path. It's like, oh God, like I was doing that. It felt like I was like in some type of dream, the type of stuff that I did. Like, be like, I was really walking around without no awareness. It's kind of like God watches over fools and babies. That's kind of like what was what was going on, because I was doing certain things that very chaotic, right? And so when I came into a level of awareness, I was reflecting on that. So that's why the detox is so important. Even when we get to a state of, a knowingness, and we feel like we've stepped into knowing more than most people who are not aware, there's still more levels to go on. And that's why I tell people, even for those who are looking to do entheogens and going on a deeper journey within oneself and to purge and release, this would be the time to do it. This will be, if you've never done entheogens, if you've never done psychedelics and psilocybin, this will be the time to do it during the winter solstice. Because just like I said before, it's going deeper and deeper into less sunlight. So if we have less sun and we're in a darker time and it's supposed to be more of an inward journey within oneself, the mushrooms themselves, that network, that mycelium grows in the dark. It grows on cow dung in the deepest, murkiest places. So if they can spring up, and intelligence can spring up from the darkness, so are you. All right. It's a reflection. So that would be time to take in that those entheogens, go deeper into yourself and receive the information. I have definitely been thinking about possibly going in either tonight or tomorrow on my psilocybin journey and seeing what needs to be revealed as I go out of the winter solstice and moving forward into the Gregorian calendar of the first of the year in 2022. So I definitely wanted to tap in and touch in on that. For people who, also, I want to talk about a little bit about for people who are caught in between two worlds. Whoo, Lord. There are people who are caught, they are going in this journey. They've started in this journey and they're caught in between two worlds. And what that means is you started on this journey, but now you're starting to separate yourself from this whole Christmas and Halloween and Valentine's Day and Thanksgiving Day. But you're still, in it a little bit. You will have an awareness that you shouldn't be doing this, but it's still like, oh, I'm still caught in between with my family, or should I not do this with my children? Should I not do this with my family? 0 point to start over. Yes, Alley Cat, from taking a break, you detox back to the one, to square one, to rebuild and start over, fresh starts. Most definitely, very well put, extremely well said. It takes you back to the 0 point in the detoxing. It does. And even before I go into the two worlds, someone else was talking on Clubhouse about doing the inner child work and the inner child healing. But someone also said, yeah, we do the inner child work, but what about the stage from the inner child, from the child to the adolescent, to the teenager, to the young 20? Like, it's different stages of an individual of the work that we still have to go back. And I see myself reflecting on different things that have occurred through my lifetime, and not just as a little girl, but as a teenager, a healing work I have to do from things that happened then, things that happened in my 20s, that I have to go back and do the healing for the 20-year-old me, so oh, hey, Sanchez, peace and blessings, Sanchez. So there's healing work that has to be done even at those stages, because if you've been on this journey, you probably healed that inner child. I know in my dream realms, I have this little child that's with me in my dream realm, and it's almost as if it's like a spirit guide, but it's that inner child that has already healed within me. I remember back when I was 19, I'm 41 now, or when I was 19, I was caught in a situation in which I was kidnapped. I was robbed and I was raped at gunpoint. And in my dream, this was starting at the first level of my awakening. I had this dream in which everything that happened when I was 19 replayed itself out in the dream state. But it had, at the very end of me going through all of that all over again, which was healing within itself, at the very end, this is what was beautiful. It was a little girl, and it just, the energy of this little girl was on me. She ran to me and we just embraced each other. Like she looked like she was about 2 or 3 years old. She ran to me and I picked the little girl up and we just hugged each other. So even though we have circumstances, situations that everybody, Yeah, I ain't the only one that shit didn't happen to. All of us have a story. All of us can write a book. All of us have things that have happened to us through our lifetime, and now we're testimonial for those who are coming into their awareness or their awakening of things that have happened to them, and their testimony of healing, a testimonial of you can make it out of this shit, you know. So when I had that dream, it allowed me to replay that out, go back through it, relive it as healing. All right. And then to have my little girl embrace me, I've done that healing work for that inner child. So now it's like, let's go back a little bit deeper into what, some teenage years things and some 20s, some things that happened through that I can do some healing work on. So that detox, just like what Alley Cat was saying, the detox takes you back to square one. It takes you back to the starting point. It takes you back there, and even if you decide to incorporate plant medicine with that, it's going to reveal where you are. It's like the plant medicine is a book. If you haven't done the prior work before you go into taking it, it's going to make you do that. If you've already done the work, it's going to flip the pages and get to where you need to start at and then work you up from there. And then it may be some times where like, okay, I don't need to take any plant medicine. I just need to focus on what was told to me within that journey before I move forward into having another experience. So I definitely felt that when she just stated that in the messages in the chat that, starting from, point one, and we doing this time, doing the work, it's very important to do that. And if you caught in between two worlds, you can't be, I really want to say this, you have to know that we live in an illusionary world. And we cannot be caught up in the fact that this world, because even when I go out to the store, I just left Walgreens. I had to get some contact solution. And it was very fun. I just make so light of it because I know this is an illusionary world. The lady that waited on me, that was my cashier, was named Mary. And I said, Mary, make sure you have that baby tomorrow. So these people can celebrate. And so it's almost like you're on the inside, so to speak. For me, I feel like I'm on the inside and just scanning out and just seeing everybody. Some people are, going through trying to rush and get gifts and presents. And, for people that I heard about these children that's been held the whole year. I'm like, why are you even going through all of this, spending more and more and more and giving to these corporations who are furthering these corporations? We're spending our money in to get PS5s and televisions and clothes and all of this, that we're spending money that we may not even have to help fund the prison. Yeah, her name was Mary. We're helping to fund what they're creating. Even if you're spending money on Amazon, if you're spending money on Amazon on these, Jeff Bezos and all the rest of these people, if you're using these platforms, I think that's man name for Amazon. I don't keep up. I count my Amazon. But if you're spending money on these people's platforms, you're actually funding. You're funding these islands that take these children and they do a spirit cooking. You're funding the shit. Like, you can't sit back. My thing is, we have to live. We have to have certain things, and we have to go. Once we have the awareness, we're going to have to go into a more in-depth knowing of how we are utilizing our currency, because this is a flow. And if we get a stagnation in flow, be like, oh, why is my money stopping? Like, why is it so hard? Well, we got to look at, how are you utilizing your flow? All right. Even with your energy, if you're feeling a lot tired, feeling lethargic, you got, how have I been utilizing my energy? Have I even been utilizing my energy? And has my energy been utilized for good? Am I exercising? Am I moving? Am I qigong? Am I doing yoga? Am I doing weightlifting? Am I exercising? Am I waking up in the morning and using the full force of the energy that the source has given me? Or am I bullshitting and I'm laying around and I'm drinking and then I smoke 2 or 3 blunts and then I'm drinking and then I'm on some other shit? No. All right. So we got to really know how we're using our energy and giving into these corporations, giving to these multi-billionaire giants who are funding things that we don't want to give into. And we'll sit and we'll talk about, hey, you don't need to know this, injecting this and that and the third. But at the same time, you giving them money to keep funding the shit to happen. We know the pharmaceutical companies working hand, I ain't gonna even go into it step by step, but you know this. So why are you still funding them? We have to be mindful. Spending energies, yes, monies to fuel mass production, mass spiritual pollutions, while limiting and killing our own creativity, ingenuity, and spirituality. That is the truth. That is facts. That's what we have to look at. So it's not so much, even though Christmas has other things like we was talking about Krampus and all the rest of that, it has some underlining dark traditions with children and what that's rooted in, scaring children and taunting them and all that deep dark energy and the Nordic traditions. And then there's other traditions about the tree and then the Amanita muscaria. So it's all different types of stories around it. And we know in this reality, everything is topsy-turvy, it's a lie, it's flip-flop, and they haven't given us the real truth. And the real truth comes from within. We can't look for anybody to give the real truth. And there's going to be family members who are still in the unaware state. And so once you've made that stance on your life that this is my path, I told someone this last week, I told my parents, and I was living with my parents. I was living with a Church of God in Christ evangelist. When I told that I am not celebrating Christmas, I'm at my altar, I'm doing my rituals. I was coming to my awareness, and my mom was like, "We didn't raise you like this. We don't know what's going on with you." Da, da, da. But my soul is more important than what a family member thinks of me. All right. My soul is here for a purpose. And when you come into the awareness of why your soul is here, when you have that enlightenment, I don't give a fuck about what other people think. And you have to get to that point. When you're at that point, that's when, your spirit guides come. They're like, oh shit, she don't give a damn no more. Let's go. Let's give her this. Let's give her that. Let's give her this. Let's make sure that she has what she needs because she's not wavering. Like the Bible says, she's not lukewarm anymore. She knows she's standing in her power. And we can't stand in our power when we still bullshitting with rituals that do not have our best interests at heart. Oh, my battery is low, so I'll be cutting this a little short. So I just wanted to tap in and say that, yes, Goddess, when you know better, we should do and know and do better. And not to say I don't go around my family during this time. I love my family. Anytime it's time to be around family, I do. But going through the extremes of exchanging gifts and saying Merry Christmas, people tell me Merry Christmas. I say Happy Holidays, Happy Winter Solstice. Like, and they'd be like, "Oh, what's that?" And then that gives you the opportunity to enlighten them because a lot of people don't even know what winter solstice is. Unfortunately. That's right. Stand in your power. If you don't get anything else from 2020 and 2021, we should have learned to stand in our power, not to give our money up to these people that don't give a damn about us. It's going to throw us out. When we have families we have to take care of. I saw a line outside of GameStop that was absolutely hilarious to me. It was ludicrous to see these people spending money when just months ago they were laying people off of jobs, which they still are if you don't want to comply to, You know what I'm talking about. So they still doing that. So why again are you funding this? So we have to stand in our power. First, stand in your power with yourself. Know who you are. Then make that stance with your family. I don't care what your family. And like I said, I lived in the house with my parents, and I had to make that stance with them in their house. Tell them I ain't a part of this shit. Hate me if you want to. It is what it is. And so I'm wishing you all a happy, happy winter solstice. Go inward. Do the deep meditation. First, do your oracle reading, because you need to know what you're meditating on first. Can't meditate without knowing what you're meditating on. So do your oracle reading first. However you do, I do Meta Nectar and I Ching. You may do the tarot, whatever it is. Know what you need to meditate on, what you need to work on during this winter solstice, and take that into your meditation. And then cleanse yourself, even if it's for 24 hours. Do some type of water fast or cleanse. If you're on medications, do raw fruits and vegetables. And then go into what spirit needs to tell you moving into the new year. Gregorian calendar starts on the 1st, which is next Saturday, or with Chinese lunar new year, it's February the 1st, 2022. So peace, love, happy winter solstice, happy holy days, and high frequencies.